Offensive strategy in basketball is different from using anti-aging cream in that your goal is to add wrinkles. The Phoenix Suns did that during the summer of 2019. Their personnel moves were widely panned, but outside of a spreadsheet and inside the Talking Stick Resort Arena, the additions of Rubio and Aron Baynes in particular have had a dramatically positive impact on the gravity within the Suns' offense. Early in his tenure, new Suns head coach Monty Williams has repeatedly preached a 0.5 seconds approach, which just means that upon catching the ball, a player should make a decision to either shoot, shot fake, dribble, or pass. It's similar to the philosophy that drove Villanova's great offensive teams in the past few years. Through 10 games, Phoenix is creating the second most wide-open shots in the NBA.
They were 28th last season.
They're also leading the league in team assists, which is up from 20th last season. Phoenix is shooting the shit out of the ball, and this is likely a big reason why. Scheme and philosophy will always play a part, but if you severely lack playmaking and creation the way the Suns have in the past few seasons,
it doesn't matter what you run. You're still going to have a hard time moving the ball.
It was a mocked signing, but Rubio was a sensible target for them for that reason. Rubio is a gifted playmaker, and we've known this since he was 17 years old, and more than holding his own on the international stage in some high-level basketball games. His playmaking allows Phoenix's individual offensive talents to thrive, and it motivates them to move without the ball. The placement, the patience to set up the passes with fakes, the angles, Rubio can put it where it needs to be. He can comfortably create with a live dribble and use his eyes to manipulate defenders, the way he does here with Mason Plumlee, freezing him for a split second and allowing Frank Kaminsky to cut right in front of his face for two. This one really displays Rubio's playmaking talent. It's ridiculous. Watch Rubio completely sell this lob fake with the angle of his body and with his eyes and head. Saric should be fined and publicly shamed for missing this. Although everyone is reaping the benefits, one of the biggest beneficiaries from Rubio's presence is Devin Booker, because it allows him to mix up his scoring looks. Through 10 games, Booker's unassisted field goals are down dramatically from last season, from 64% in 2018-19 to 44.1% in 2019-20. At 23, Booker is already a crafty and dynamic offensive player. That in and of itself is a big problem for teams to deal with on a nightly basis. He's exceptionally good one-on-one with his footwork and his head and shoulder fakes, where he's clearly inspired by some of the great scoring wings of the past. Off the ball, though, Booker's finally going to have some space to develop his chops and grow what I call anti-usage. That is, actively having an impact on the game when the ball isn't in your hands. Great shooters can ruthlessly weaponize their anti-usage if they choose to and if they know how, which is part of why Steph Curry is so special and underappreciated, but I digress. The Suns are more frequently putting 5 guys that can shoot, pass, and dribble on the floor at one time.
What a concept.
Weak side movement within their offense with the added skill players has minimized the freedom that defenders have to help. It's an added benefit that Booker almost always draws the best perimeter defender on the other team, and as a result, that player can be taken out of the primary action. Through 10 games, Phoenix is a dramatically improved team in handoffs. Watch Aron Baynes get the ball in the high post here, likely setting up for an elbow high sequence where Booker will come and take a handoff. Josh Richardson is top-locking Booker's path for that cut, which is a common approach to slowing him down. Sensing this, Devin accepts that lower ground and slowly walks him into a cutting Dario Saric, and seeing as there's no one at the rim, Baynes hits him over the top for an easy one. Smart NBA players play in sequences, not just plays, and this is a really fun thing to watch. A few plays later, Richardson's mindful that Booker's looking to seal him like this, so he's playing under him to avoid it happening again. Booker catches him sleeping and accelerates hard over the top and gets an easy one. These elements have been a part of his game for a while now, but with improved balance, passing, and gravity, they're more available than ever. Sometimes there's a man, and he's the man for his time and place. He fits right in there. That's Aron Baynes, who's off to the best start of his 8-year career. He's been phenomenal. Baynes is more than filled in for the suspended DeAndre Ayton, hovering at the top of the league in efficiency in post-ups and as a pick-and-roll man. He's also one of the sneakier screeners in the league in the middle of the floor, and he, stop me if you've heard this before, has thrived with pairing with Rubio. Phoenix did not play a 5 last season that would consistently attempt threes, much less make them. Baynes has incredibly become an eager and able three-point shooter, and that's allowed Phoenix to lift up their entire offense and create more cutting opportunities. In the early goings of an NBA season, it's common to see teams with continuity roar out to a great start. And it's also normal to see teams without continuity do the opposite. Seeing as the Suns have a largely new roster and new coaching staff, this gives me some optimism that the synergy that we're seeing isn't necessarily coming with an asterisk. This is especially true when you consider that not everyone's playing particularly well. Kaminsky, Saric, Mikal Bridges, and Cam Johnson are still finding their way, and the Bahamian behemoth, DeAndre Ayton, will give them yet another avenue to explore. As good as this thing has been, it's probably still evolving. That said, it's early for the opposition, too. Teams are accruing a sample size to analyze and scheme against, and we're going to see that in the coming months of the season. But unlike the past,
The Suns have more than one serious weapon on their holster to fight back.
how will they reintegrate Ayton? Are they on the path to sniffing the playoffs? Phoenix still has questions, but for Suns fans, it sure is nice to have some different ones. Let me know if you agree.